your face on there. There he is. Hey, Timmy Baltimore.
Hey, only 8 minutes late, guys.
Timmy. Hey, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes.
You can?
I can. Can you unfortunately hear me?
Yeah, hell yeah. 8 minutes late. Rip's
8
first
minutes
guest
late
that we've ever had in Lilas Studios. Rip was in charge of booking, and he showed up 8 minutes late.
God damn, this fucking coffee about burned my fucking
Why? It's brand new. What do you? I mean, oh yeah, we're recording right now. By the way, Timmy B, we're on live, baby.
That's fine. I got turned around. I took the wrong exit. I would have gotten here on time. But I walked instead of driving. So,
sounds like a lot of
yeah. So, I think I violated the big rule, right? If you're going to be late, be really, really late. So there's just thankful you're there.
Oh, we wouldn't have been here then.
Oh, hey, what Dick the Bruiser would though, Bruiser would be in the main event and he'd be there early, but he'd sit out in his car until it was like mad. Everybody was happy he made it.
Oh.
And he'd just fucking laugh and rib everybody. See?
That's wonderful. That's the way to do it. Lilas Studios looks good, man. Nice and spacious.
Thanks. We just recorded
16, or 20 foot behind you.
Rip was in charge of that. He likes the rings with 4 ropes.
I like the 4 ropes because it makes you look like a geek.
So it's all I could come up with. Rip just likes to bitch. It doesn't matter what I have here. I got him coffee. It's too hot.
It's too hot.
I got him Coke. It's too cold.
No, I bought my own fucking Coke.
I got a ring. There's too many ropes.
Yeah.
I mean, just whatever.
Fuck, I have to take a shit. He's got fucking single ply toilet paper.
Yeah, we do actually. Maria, my wife sent somebody to Walmart or Sam's Club to get toilet paper, and he came back with this like business, like a thing of like 75 rolls of thing. I was like, what the hell? That's awful.
Well, you ain't gonna go shopping, are you? Fucking lazy bastard.
No, I got shit to do, man. I got Lilas Studios here.
Yeah. Did you give him the business?
I don't have time.
Give him the business?
I don't have time for shopping. Timmy, what's up, man? We saw you on the big Renee Dupree show. Hey, we did Renee's show too. It was pretty cool. Ours isn't out yet. Actually, Rip did it. And I just kind of sat here because he didn't know how to do Zoom and all that kind of stuff. So
well, fuck you, asshole.
I sat here and then I got in. I got in last 10 minutes, maybe. Did a little run in. So you were good. You were good on there, man.
It was all right. Like, Renee's an old friend. He was good to me when he didn't have to be. And I know it's like, well, yeah, but that's how you should be. But a lot of people aren't, as we know. The only thing is, like, that's a show that wants dirt. They want that dirt. They want to get the clickbait. And
well, do they or don't they? Because usually Renee, just like yours, he's like, "Hey Timmy, so just tell us what's up, man." He basically just asks one question and makes you talk the rest of the time. I mean, that's kind of
I feel like though on the YouTube, it's like so and so shoots hard. Everybody's shooting hard on something, aren't they?
Yeah, we're gonna get you to shoot on Rip here in a minute. So,
oh boy,
that's gonna be our clickbait. Timmy and Rip battle it out at Lilas Studios.
Click fucking bait this.
So we don't prepare anything. We don't do research. We don't have clickbait. We do have a couple notes today, though. Rip thought we were doing 3 shows today, so he got overly prepared, and
but I didn't start none of it until I was here.
Correct. So yeah, we've already done one show today. Max Payne, Max Payne, he called into our show today.
Max Payne, is he's in that area, isn't he?
Hell no. He was
no.
What do you say?
Max Payne he was always a WCW guy?
Yeah, he was and
then he was Man Mountain Rock in WWF.
Man Mountain Rock. Okay.
Guitar.
Wow, how's he doing?
He's fucking big.
He's a big boy, isn't he? Holy shit.
Iowa State, that's where it was. Iowa State.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you people out there in TV land that don't know, this is Timmy Baltimore. Timmy Baltimore, I don't even know what you go by now. Is that what you go by? Do you go by your real name, shoot name, another name?
Brent Herring. I rose by any other name, Brent Herring's the name my mother gave me.
All his bitches.
Kayfabe name, all his bitches.
How many bitches you got now, Timmy?
How many bitches?
Uh-huh.
I'm a one woman man now.
Yeah,
man.
me too, man.
You're a one man, Timmy.
My days of being the stripper whisperer behind me.
Mine too, man.
Yeah, so I Timmy Baltimore is something, a lot of people still call me that.
I do.
And that's perfectly great. Like being in Baltimore and Maryland, it's kind of weird calling yourself after the town. It's people scratch their heads. So
is that where you live right now?
That's where I am right now.
Oh, okay.
I was actually in what do you call it? AEW was here.
AEW
was here.
We're big AEW fans, Timmy.
I bet you guys
fucking rotten. It's great.
You guys love the Lucha Brothers. I bet.
Yeah.
I went and I was there Wednesday night as just kicking it, and I have a lot of like Pat Buck and a lot of the guys from OVW coming up. Oh God, what are you doing here, Timmy Baltimore? Oh, and I go, yeah, they named the city after me. So it was good to see everyone. Like, man, if they ain't at the one show, they're at the other.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, we can get some dirt. We can get some dirt from you right now. Give us the Pat Buck update. So he quit WWE and then went right to AEW. Is that how that worked?
Pat Buck, he's smart, man. He's smart. Some say slippery. I say smart, man. He and here's why. So worked his ass off in WWE, got the trust, got the big shots of like the Michael Hayeses and the Bruces behind him, and was able to produce in conjunction with the old timers, but was able to produce the main events of WrestleMania. That's a hell of a thing to have on your resume.
Yep.
And as we've heard and Rip, that job is 24/7 and thankless, and you're in the hotels writing up the reports on how Madcap Moss heat looked.
We don't know who that is.
Yeah, okay. So
get to the dirt, Timmy. So he just left WWE and said, F you, I'm out of here.
He said, I got to go spend time with my family.
Yeah.
I've done it all. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I've done it all, but I just want to go home and rest and be with my newborns and my wife. And he goes home and then hops on the plane to wherever the hell AEW Dynamite was, and
that's wild.
Slides right in. Now he can't, because you can't. He can say, "Yeah, I wanted to spend more time with my family." They're only once a week, so it is true, but not quite how he framed it. And I got to think, like, once you're done, that workload, he probably doesn't ever think he's going back.
Well, sure.
But he looked good. He
had to have that line. He had to have had that lined up, right? Had to have.
For sure. It wouldn't take much. His school that him and Major brother Brian Major have is responsible for MJF. Mean Mark, like a few other of the talent. I'm sure the only one you guys might be real familiar with is MJF. So, and MJF's a star there, so he's got everyone's ear.
Does he still have the school?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's doing that. I guess they're running a pretty big show, and now the thing to do in the independent circuit is, when you run these shows, get on Fight TV or IWTV, and it's pay-per-view. And whatever your product is that went out to 200, 300, 500 people in your local area now can go out to all the wrestling nerds everywhere.
Nice. We're going to watch that, Rip? What he was talking about on Fight TV. We're going to start watching these pay-per-views and reviewing them?
They'd be fucking rotten. Get real. The fucking stars are fucking rotten.
I guess that's a no.
The stars are fucking rotten. There's only a handful of guys that got this shit. The rest, and they do it as a goddamn fucking rib. It's like Serena. Serena knows how to get over. She don't fucking do stupid shit.
Yeah,
and all you gotta do is do basics and sell each other, and that's all you fucking got. Treated like it's fucking real. Oh no, I have to get my shit in.
Rip's working on not cussing so much too. If you can tell, right?
Yeah, he's doing great. You got a jar, like this is going well.
He's doing great. We think we might get some more airtime on YouTube if Rip doesn't cuss so much. He's really working hard on it.
Well, you always say you're going to edit and you don't do it.
Well, I can't edit 9,000 F-bombs. Like
Yeah, we would say you're going to.
There would be nothing. There would be nothing left of the show.
This is the show, man. You guys are like an old married couple. This is.
He's the bitch.
Yeah. So me and Timmy, for the audience out there, met at OVW. I have no idea probably what year. 08, 07, 09. I have no idea. 06, 05. I have no idea.
Those will all work. Yeah.
I'm terrible with years. But he was an announcer at OVW. Did a great job. Did DCW for Rip as well.
And we did research on that. I was digging deep all night.
I did no research.
TV show. No. I'd say, wait a minute, who's here? Okay, well, first we got to see who's here, or it don't fucking matter anyway. Okay, we got these mugs, so okay, now we'll make some matches.
Now, did they pay their dues? And if you hadn't done that yet.
No, you ain't paid your dues. You got to pay your fucking dues first, and now you're a TV star.
What took you to OVW? Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up, wrestling was the thing. I was injured in a car wreck when I was 5. So I had a spinal cord injury and a cane and a limp and, grew up in hospital. So that part of my life was pretty difficult. And wrestling was an escape. And I didn't know how or what, but I knew I had to do something in it. I had to try. I found a school in Baltimore and they trained me as a manager, I suppose, but it was just me showing up before they opened and leaving, having to kick me out while I was in college. And then nobody knew what to do with me. I'm like this crippled kid from Baltimore and I don't have any experience. It's like, he won't go away. What the hell do we do with this guy? And Mickie James was actually kind enough to bring me on shows. She had a girl she would work, and they'd just take their ladies' match to different promotions. And I would manage the girl she would work as a heel. And that's how I learned the movements and everybody and what they were thinking. And without that, I never would have had a clue. And then after she left for Louisville, I continued to do some indies and things like that. And I said, man, the goal isn't to just become, a manager in Philadelphia in front of 20 people. The goal is, get to WWE or do something. So the place to be back then in 05 and 04 was OVW. And I would look at the website and see who was who. And I knew Joey Matthews, Mercury, and Mickie James there. And so they were up on the road by the time I moved. I moved in November 2005. And when I got there, Danny Davis looked at me and goes, no. And I go,
so you just showed up. Is that right?
I just showed up. Yeah. And that about Mickie vouched for me and Joey vouched for me, but that only gets you so far. And he's like, nope, nothing physical ever. Nope. I'm not stupid. And I was like, okay, well, can I announce the dark matches? I'll think about it. Finally, he let me. Afterwards, he goes, good job, kid. And I learned very quickly that when somebody says good job, kid, ask for more real quick and see if you get it. You probably don't want to do it when they say that was the shits. Can I have some more opportunities? So it evolved into honing the craft of being a play-by-play and a commentator. And Derby City Wrestling was a massive break for me. A massive break, not only in just being on screen and seen. It was a massive break in that's where I learned how to work. That's where I learned how to do that job. It was, as you said, no net, no prep. You just had to react. If you weren't good at talking, if I hadn't been good at talking or reacting properly, I would have sunk and it would have stunk and you would have had my ass out of there in half before the second episode was over. So luckily,
is that when you first started really announcing the most? Then you weren't really doing OVW before that?
No, I mean, I was doing
Okay.
OVW dark matches. So I was doing,
Rip.
yeah.
So you didn't look at him and say, we don't have nothing. You just get in there, Timmy.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Do it.
Fucking A. Oops, I just cussed. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't tell you how grateful I am for Rip and Danny taking a chance, I guess. And I don't know why. I don't know why they did.
Because you wouldn't go away.
I wouldn't go away. I guess that was it. But it was the dark matches I called in OVW. I noticed that the writers and these people that were supposed to be decision makers in WWE always said the commentating sucked. They were fast forwarding it or muting it, and I had a real problem with that because somebody's working hard on that. So I tried to make the dark matches do as well as I could there, but it was really DCW where I learned that the whole idea that I had of being overproduced and hitting these time cues, and that's all very important. But before you do that, you got to learn to work. Before you can break the rules, you got to know the rules. And I never would have had that type of chops or experience or be able to, you could literally, if I'm in bed, you could flip the mattress, dump my ass on the floor, put a mic in front of me and a camera and go call it. And I could, and I wouldn't skip a beat because of you, Rip, and because of Danny and OVW. And
okay,
DCW.
quit putting Rip over. We're not doing this show to get Rip over any more than
he don't need me to get him over. It's
you
true.
love this shit, don't you? Look at you.
Just
taking it in.
I like the product that we did.
Oh, DCW is awesome.
I mean, just think, Timmy, every time we had a tag match, how many times did we enforce? There was never every match there was a finish. Unless it was a draw. And the referee was never fucking buried. It was just, that's not a right tag. You got to switch back. That wasn't right. Nuh-uh. The third time, okay, now that's a fucking tag. And this shit is so easy and could still be done today, but nobody's got enough balls to do it. You're going to have to take 2 steps back. And until they do,
it's never going to happen.
Mayhem.
It won't. But,
it's something completely different. Imagine if you were in a coma since 1991 and woke up now and saw what it is. You would think, what is is it fast forward acrobats? I wouldn't know what I was watching, but like you said, to go, here's when that certain people don't get it. They just don't get it when they bitch about something like a proper tag or the rules. If you're good, that's the advantage. That's the juice as a heel. You figure out creative ways to turn that on its head. Well, how am I going to do this? Motherfucker, excuse my language, but you're supposed to be a wrestling heel or a worker. Figure it out. Be creative. The rules are there to establish guidelines so when shit goes wrong and flip-flop, there's a reaction. And they just don't know. No, you're hindering my creativity and process. Well, you're an idiot. Burn your fucking boots. Excuse me.
Do you remember the first match in either OVW or DCW you called, or the first show?
Yes, I think it was St. Therese Gym. There was a guy named Ron Head. Who was in OVW for a while, and Ron was very nice to me. He was a little strange. Strange, Ron, a little strange, but I'm not, to each their own. But I saw that a lot of the talent, he rubbed them the wrong way. A lot of the especially the women. And I was in I was in success mode. I was a shark, man. I'm coming for you. If that's your spot and you're not doing it right and you're not, nothing's going to exist. Nothing's just a vacuum. I will fill that spot. So he was really good to me, but it became pretty quick, pretty apparent to him, I think, that he was like, whoa, this guy's going for it. And I'm just going to step away. So I didn't see much of him after I
Timmy ran him out of town, it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me.
So then it was doing some of the darks, which, for people at home, they would do. OVW would tape its television show Wednesdays, and the main TV show would be an hour. But before, there would be anywhere from 2 to 3 matches that weren't televised, get the house up.
Yeah, I'm talking about the TV shit, man. First TV.
Okay. First TV the first TV I did was DCW.
Oh, okay.
DCW, the first episode. Yeah.
What was the first match?
Do you remember it? Do you remember?
Uh-huh.
Do you really?
Because
holy shit.
The first tie-up we was ever going to have, remember when Snake's shoulder went out, sort of?
That's right. Yeah.
Was that the first match?
Yes.
Snake and who? R.I.P.
But he it wasn't Electrico or Tony Man.
Might have been. Was it Electrico? You always had them doing shit together.
I remember he went to tie up and he like dead armed his fucking arm. He wouldn't fucking go up all the way. It fucking popped out. I said, Jesus.
So that was it. DCW. That's awesome. I had no idea that was your first.
Was it. Yeah, and I was so excited and so like, then I forgot to introduce Kenny and I just started talking and going and about billboarding the show and the matches, and then we'll be right back. Danny goes, did you forget something? I go, God, no, I don't think so. Who the hell are you guys? Shoot.
Who the hell are you guys?
Shoot. Well, I'll get them next time if I'm here. But it was so interesting. And Vaughn, you can attest to this too. The atmosphere in OVW, there was definitely some guys that had this attitude of, well, we're contract.
Oh,
and
sure.
Those guys over there, they're not contract, so they're not on our level. I was fortunate enough to know, those guys will smoke your ass if given the opportunity. And the first time I met you, Vaughn, and saw you was at one of they were called the student shows or amateur shows.
Amateur show, yeah.
I remember going, man, nobody, like, let's call them the Future Talent Showcase or something great, because it just sounded better. And out comes Von Lilas, and I'm like, this guy is the real deal. There's no holes in his stuff. It's just, and I'm going, why isn't he coming on Wednesdays? And then it was like, because of that whole culture of contract, non-contract. And it's just, and you did a lot, Rip, for Club Life, trying to get them set up and everything on Wednesdays. And I don't blame a lot of the guys that didn't want to come to TVs just not to get used. It was tough. Seemed like there were a lot of politics and everything. And I just knew there's number one, you guys were so many of you were so much more solid, and people seem to forget the guys that you step on the way up are the same people you're going to see on the way down.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's,
yeah.
I just remember going, there was a bunch of those guys, not to name any names, in the contract class still before they pulled out, and they had just started getting called up. And then WWE was in Indianapolis, and me and I think APOC and Blair and a couple guys went to TV and for WWE. And then those guys, I mean, they acted like they didn't have a clue who we were, the cold shoulder, everything, kayfabe. And then next thing you know, a couple of them are coming to like DCW shows after they've been released and shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Welcome. Yeah. That whole mentality, I didn't encounter a lot of it just because I'm not a threat. I wasn't a threat. There was nobody was trying to do what I was trying to do, really. So I was very lucky in the sense that I was under the radar and able to kind of go back and forth, I guess. But without question, the superior workers were on DCW and your class, Rip. And
which people out of that class made it. I mean, we had people that made it got signed. So,
right.
But here was the thing. The WWE signees thought they were good. None of them were worth a shit. The DCW guys were in hungry and they wanted to learn. And they just shut the fuck up and did as I told them. Yep. Eventually, they started getting it. And after a year, they was really getting it. Where the WWE guys thought they thought they had already they didn't know fuck all, and they thought they fucking did.
They thought they had it already.
So did you go from OVW to WWE, or were you somewhere in between?
No, I went to WWE, which is actually a great story that I'll never forget, Rep. That I obviously, when I started to get in summer 07, Bruce Pritchard called Danny and wanted me up there to do audition, try out, things like that. And so I was going up there and I was just like a mic stand, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, Eugene, your your thoughts. It was, and I got told, like, stop, you. It's too much personality. And Stephanie McMahon was like, you got to be more like Todd Grisham. Todd Grisham's a great guy. He was very nice, very accommodating. But at the time I was like, what? Like, you just don't, like, they just want a Ken Dodd. They just want you to be a mic stand. And it was relentless how, like, people really tried. Like, Bruce really, to my knowledge, really tried. Lombardi, I was in the promo room all the time. Nick Dinsmore helped me out a lot. All the OVW guys kind of crowded around and, like, let me interview them. Even Cena did, to kind of push it over the edge. So I must have been really lousy because they didn't, even despite that, they didn't choose it. And then it was like 7 weeks I was going up there to Raw and SmackDown. And then I didn't hear anything for 6 months. I was like going insane. And I must have been hell to live with. And then all of a sudden I go, I'm coming home to Baltimore and I get a call from Mark Carano and Dusty Rhodes, and they asked me to report to Tampa for FCW in that following week. And so I wrap up with Danny and you, Rip, and I'll never forget my last night. It was the last show I called at DCW in that time period, but it would have been my last Davis Arena show because that was taped Thursdays. And, Rip was nice enough to have everybody say goodbye and, all right, see you guys. Yeah, I think so. I was like, all right, see you guys, everybody. All right. Rip was going for doing practice right after the show. So I'm going out the side door and it shuts behind me. And I hear Rip go, well, he's fucking gone. And he did a 10-bell salute.
God, I don't remember any of that. You think I was there or was I gone already?
It was wonderful. God, that was funny. And you were right. I quit that job. It was.
So you were at DCW when you got hired from WWE?
Yeah.
Wow.
OVW and DCW. I was the third man at the desk for OVW as well, which was it was a lot harder nut to crack to get on that one. But I think I fit in pretty well there. Like, I was on a mission to be like the best young commentator. And again, it was one of those things in that vocation, I didn't really have like Jim Ross wasn't going to help me and Michael Cole wasn't going to help me. They weren't going to give me advice. So you just got to figure a lot of it out on your own and consult with guys like Rep and Danny, like guys that I trusted weren't going to, shit me.
Now but you answered a couple of the questions I was going to actually ask.
Sorry.
Like no, that's great. I'm always curious on when you actually got the call or when you signed or how that went down. So you answered that. I was going to ask your last time you called, whatever you asked that. What was your, I never got signed, obviously. So I don't know. I've done shows. I went to WWE, did a bunch of shit. But what was it? What was it like? Like were you ever like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm really getting ready to sign it? I mean, were you marking out for the whole thing? Was it just normal? Like, sign WWE. This is what I wanted.
Let me preface this by saying, if anybody's watching this, like,
hey, what do you mean if anybody's watching? We're one of the highest rated shows on YouTube. What the hell are you talking about?
Von Lilas was just an incredible talent. Like, there was wrestling should always have a sense of danger. As a fan, you should never know. Like there's the guys that you're not sure about. That's what makes it awesome. And Vaughn was one of those guys that just had this sense of danger. And that series with APOC was fucking phenomenal. It was amazing. I wish
didn't watch any of it.
You didn't watch any of it?
No, he didn't watch any of it.
No.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And the fact that, it's like, they say, well, it's a travesty. So-and-so wasn't. It's like kids have cancer. That's a travesty. That's a tragedy. It's unfortunate.
There you go.
You didn't, the break didn't come. And I mean, I can't imagine you would have done what you had to do, but that environment. So I was so hyper focused on that, getting a deal, that I didn't, it almost, I convinced myself, I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't. Like I was so focused on it. I just didn't believe that it couldn't. I just thought if I don't die, if I don't quit, and I work hard, I got some talent, the timing will happen. And when it did, it was very cool. I was actually in a plane up in the air, and when I landed, I had all these voicemails like pick up your fucking phone. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? And so when I signed that, I wish I could say like I remembered signing it. I wish I could say like I had it framed, but at that point I was just ready to go.
That's cool.
And I wish in retrospect, I wish I had stood on a little more ceremony or but
yeah.
I felt there's something in me, like I never do pictures, rarely. I always feel like a mark or something. So I was just like, well, I don't know.
I think it's a lot more accepted now. I wish I had I wish I had more pictures. I wish I was a mark and would have done it, man. I don't have pictures, video, none of that shit hardly, because I was worried about what other people thought. Now it's like, why in the hell did I care what other people thought? I should have got the pictures.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I was the fool that played it cool as well, and I have very little. I don't have any. I'd love to get the DCW shows I did. I'd love to get the OVW shows I did, and I just would have no idea.
Hey, listen, I've got some of that stuff, and I'm actually, funny story. I took a lot of my VHS and DVD and burned them on a flash drive. And some of it was DCW, OVW. You're in. Ooh. I think you're in I think I have you're in Jamin shit when you guys did your.
Oh my God, how uncomfortable is that?
Yeah, it was awful, but I think I have it. But I put it on a flash drive, and then I broke the flash drive, so now I got to go back and redo it all. But I can send you some of that stuff.
That would be wonderful.
I can send you some of that stuff for sure, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, some of that stuff, that Jamin stuff was just.
Now, was that your idea or was that his idea? Did you? I mean,
it was a little bit of mine, a little bit of Jimmy Long, and a little bit of Jamin.
James Long, baby.
The inmates kind of grabbed the asylum for a moment there, and yeah, it's not good. It's not the best stuff. And meantime, though, you and APOC were on top.
Yeah, but I mean, you talking about people thinking that, hey, maybe this is just kind of real or whatever. When you were talking about me earlier, that shit was like real. Yeah. I mean, because it was real. I mean, the situation was real, and Jamin was so good too. And then, I mean, it was.
I told him to go for it. I fed him obviously the real stuff, because in my mind, I don't know. You try different things when you're.
Brent probably didn't even know what we're talking about because he didn't watch the show.
So it was just to give some backstory. Jamin was doing the Jamin Olivencia show, which was pretty
ripped
entertaining.
Off by Abraham Washington then in WWE.
Ripped off by Abraham Washington, yes. And he had his little stooges, Benny Bray, holding the signs.
Yep.
And it was just a platform for Jamin to be Jamin. And some guys could come on and do their characters and then lead to whatever. And so eventually it started, he was poking at me, and it got very, very personal and way too inside, to the point where we Jimmy had the idea to do like a sitcom scene where Benny was in a dress and a wig, reading,
James came out with a cane and shit, didn't he?
acting like me,
Yeah.
like it was like Full House, and we had the bad audio track of the laughing and
Yeah. I think I have that.
It's so bad, it's good. And the finish was that we couldn't touch each other or some nonsense. And I had a taser on me, and I was like, listen, this is what we want to do. I'll tase you, and we'll go to commercial with you standing up. You've pissed your pants. And he's like, okay. I was like, do you need to gimmick that? He goes, no, I'll just piss my pants. Hey, so great. So we do it. He goes down, and he's just sitting there. It's taking a while. And the camera's staying on him. Cornbread's staying on him. And I'm like, Cornbread, don't cut. Stay on him. Finally, Cornbread puts down the camera and goes, Jamin stands up, and then he pisses himself.
He couldn't do it on cue, huh?
Get it. Yeah.
Stage fright.
God. Oh my gosh.
Wasn't he like convulsing all over the place, like going into convulsions and shit when he did that? Like I remember.
Yeah. I asked, do you want to do like, this is a real stun gun. Like we can work.
Did you really tase him?
Yes, he wanted me to.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
We said the insults are real, the stun gun's real. I mean, it was just dumb. Like not the way to do things, you know.
I just remember you coming out like that suit and the wig and the cane, and I was like, oh my God, man.
So bad. But you know, it was a blast. I can't lie. But the people just don't like, you know, you got to read just because something's, oh man, just because it's real and edgy or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean the audience necessarily wants to see that. And that was a valuable lesson I learned with that angle. But it was a fight. Like I always, like with WWE, what kind of pushed me away there big time was I knew I had something to offer as a commentator on screen, as a host, whatever. And I kept, what I was doing, a big part of my job was giving that knowledge and what I knew how to do to Byron Saxton, to whatever female they brought down to interview people. I was just telling them how to do it. And in the meanwhile, I was also, Dusty was convinced I was going into business for myself by, you know, we had pitched a character idea with me and Cliff Compton, Domino, and they liked it. And they were they brought me up to do promos with that. And I was in the promo room and I did the promo, and Johnny A stepped in and he was like, do it again, but a different one. No, he said, do another one. So I did another one, but I did the same one, but it had the it was the same promo basically, but different energy. He goes, God damn it, I didn't say do the same promo. I said do a different one. So I did a completely different one. And it was better. And it was, you know, and he's like, okay. Like he was just trying to fuck with me. And it wasn't until so anyway, so guys started, like Dusty would be like, what are you doing? What is this, Tiny Tim? I need you here. And then guys started, like Gene Snitsky was up on the road and talking to the writers and going, there's this little guy with a cane in OVW or FCW, and he, like, maybe he could be like my little manager. And I've never talked to Gene Snitsky about this. So one Monday, Dusty comes in, he's like, what the fuck? You're talking to Gene Snitsky too now? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Wow.
So it was always like a sense that I was trying, but I was trying to. I thought I had something to, you know, to some value there. I should have shut up and just kept taking the check, but my dumb ass was,
you learned from Rip.
For it. Yeah.
Hey, Timmy, we got less than 1 minute on this Zoom since you were 8 minutes late. So, showing we got less than a minute, man. I don't know if this really shuts off. I've heard that if it's only 2 people on, that it keeps going. So we might get cut off here shortly. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, man.
For number 1, if we do get cut off. Number 2, maybe we could get you.
Tell my wife I love you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How about coming back on sometime just to shoot the shit, man? I mean,
I would love to.
Yeah, you didn't get shit in today.
Yeah, well, you got to come back.
Yeah, man, I'm here whenever you need me.
we could get
You
into
know?
what you're doing now and shit like that. And we
Little
usually
strong
record
style.
on Fridays. So
Okay.
if Friday mornings work for you, I don't know.